This $500,000 portfolio has a lot of potential, so let's roast it.
So today I'm going to analyze the portfolio of Mark Liu and will give him recommendations on how he can make more money. Let's begin. So he says that he has more than $641,000 in his bank account right now. And he has a very simple strategy. Put all the money in one bank account that generates a high yield. In this case, 3.91%, which is a lot of money. What I like about his strategy is that every week he's sending $5,000 to buy an ETF or an index, so he has participation and allocation in the Standard & Poor's 500. I think that's the correct way. It's called dollar cost average, just sending money every week. But he has two conditions of why he's saying. He doesn't want to freak out of crashes. So what happens if the index just goes down? And second, he wants to have some leftover. So instead of buying everything in the Standard & Poor's, he just buys it every week, which I think is a very interesting strategy. But how can Mark do it better, and what are the risks and the pros of this possibility? And stay till the end of this video because I'm gonna show you all the steps that he can do and how you can do the same. Let's go with this roast. Number one is that Mark is making a lot of money because he's producing products for solopreneurs, for entrepreneurs that want to code faster. His two main products, Code Fast and Ship Fast, generates more than $250,000 per month. Incredible! I have seen his career before he was making that kind of money. So, what are the risks that he has with this strategy? Number one, he puts all of his money into Wise. And what is the problem of Wise? Wise is not regulated as a bank. In the UK, where Wise is a fintech, it has what is called an electronic money license that allows him to do many things. But this is the problem. The money that he's putting there is not protected by the FSCS. For our friends in America, it will be similar to the FDIC. So what is this? Governments around the world, they want to insure their users. So
Old tech, no balance? This AI portfolio needs help. Let's roast it. Stop guessing and get the truth about your portfolio. I'm offering a 10-minute personalized roast that cuts through the noise and gives you a brutally honest reality check. I'll tell you what's great, what's holding you back, and exactly how to improve. And the best part, you'll get your full analysis in just 72 hours. Go to franciscamoney.com or click the link below to book your roast today. Let's fix your portfolio and get you on the path to real results.
So the problem is that right now, because it's not part of this, only is protected 20,000 euros for the Estonian law and is not directly protected by FCSS, but instead they have that money in big banks in the UK. So that's the way. So what is the problem with this strategy? Don't put all your eggs in the same basket, especially if you're the kind of people that are afraid of crashes. What happens if Wise crashes and it doesn't have protection? That's the point of this video. And you can remember what has happened before. Fintechs such as Jota Savings, which Graham Stephan was an investor, just crashed. And still today, there are thousands of people that haven't got their money back, even though their money is there, but somewhere. Why? I have built fintech businesses before, and I know how complicated it is to launch these companies. So the problem is that the partnerships that they had are not the best ones, and they're still fighting for it. So what will happen if to Mark if this happens? I don't want it. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but as an investor, you should be very aware of what could be the future. So this is the advice. Number one, take all that money and put 40% on boring banks. The most boring, the better. The most complicated tech that they have, the better. Why? Because those are the banks that have licenses and are insured. If you're in the US, it goes to $250,000. There's some banks that are doing incredible things, such as Mercury Bank, which is a neobank, so it's not in this category, or Brex that they said that can go up to 6 million by distributing that. That's interesting. But I will recommend put most of your money in a boring bank. Just searching, I found Berkeley's, which I like it in the UK, but also in other countries. And if you put the money there, even if it's a big crash, you know the governments will save them. Think about 2008 when governments came and saved Citibanks and similar banks, but then just left to the Lehman Brothers to happen something. So just find and choose a bank. In this case, I found Berkeley's, which is offering a 4.35%, which is high yield. Very interesting. Second, yes, leave 10% of that money into Wise. Why? I love Wise. I use Wise. It's incredible neobank. So if you don't have as much money as Mark, you don't have that issue. Actually, I will recommend you to use Wise. And actually, a second bank will be Revolut, which has already obtained the license, but still, you have to read the terms and how much is insured. This is very important, and that's the reason I will divide 10% on Wise and 10% on Revolut, because it will not crash at the same time Wise or Revolut. It's like diversifying, it's like protecting. So now from the 100%, 60% is still in bank. So in that way, you can even find better yields because you have a lot of money, Mark. So if you don't have access to Revolut, guys, access, I put the code before, I put other codes and other information in the description so you can go through it, okay? Now, so this is what I just found. So you have boring banks, you put 40%, which now most boring banks of high yield savings can give you up to 35%. If they didn't give you a lot, at least you know they're boring, they're protected, so your money is safe. And you can distribute those banks. So you can have half of the banks in the UK, half of the banks in the US, half of the banks in other places. I know that, for example, Mark uses to live in Bali. Okay. Then you have Wise, keep 10% of the money, keep that 3.9% being generated, and then open a Revolut account. 10% also 3.51. And what I like about Revolut now is that they offer you Perplexity Pro included. That's incredible. So it's like, if you don't know, Perplexity is the new Google, which I use it every time just to validate all my research. And yeah, it's included. So technically, if you pay the premium version, you get Perplexity Pro for free. So for 1 year, which is cool, you know. So just things to consider. Second, Mark, please start to allocate more money, diversify your portfolio. It's good to have a healthy portfolio. In your case, think about 30% in bonds, which are the governments around the world. And you can divide these bonds. You can put that 30% into US bonds, which are the best bonds in the world, and they have high yields. So it's like the T-bills. If you're thinking about Warren Buffett, he puts most of the money that he has on reserves in T-bonds, in US government bonds. But also you can put your money in UK bonds, or why not some Latin American bonds such as Mexico CETES, which I did a video, guys, if you want to check it, on how to buy government bonds from anywhere around the world. Check that video, guys. So very important in that sense. So this will be an interesting way to allocate the money. You put 30% of that allocation into US bonds, 10% into UK bonds, but you can combine. But at the end, they have high yields, and depending on the platform, of course, you can use E-Trade, you can use Charles Schwab, you can use other platforms. Well, choose them wisely and see how much are they charging you, because that's the key thing when you're choosing the platform to buy your bonds. And now, Mark, now you're happier because now you have distributed your money. It's better, it's in more places, so the risk for crashes that you're so afraid of, you just lower it. Second, you're finding different yields. So now you're not just connected to the 3.9% yield. Now, for example, if you believe the UK government will be strong, and the pound you can play also with FX. Okay, so that will be a UK bond. Okay, also you can choose the Warren Buffett style and just leave most of the money either in US bonds and explore other type of bonds. And what I like about Mark, so let's see how he makes his money, because we have to learn about the people that I do the roast, okay, is because they do amazing things. What I like is that his Code Fast, he's offering Code Fast course for $169. It includes 12 hours of video, support, and private Discord. Lifetime updates, amazing stuff. So you're gonna learn. So if you want to learn how to build your ideas, go to Code Fast. And he's not sponsoring this video though, it's just because I really like him. And second, you can include what is called the Ship Fast. The Ship Fast is a platform that he also built so you can launch the product faster. And that's what he's saying, Ship Fast, Code Fast. I really like it. Let's continue, guys. So where does Mark has his company? Well, when I read the terms and conditions, the privacy policy, I found that this agreement is governed by the laws of Singapore. Therefore, I believe his company is in Singapore, but there's no indication. So Mark, this will be an advice for your website. Even though in ShipFast and CodeFast, just put the name of the company. That is very important. Even if it's a Singaporean company, a UK-based company, or a US LLC, it will be very good for everyone and for you to have that information. So depending on the strategy from Mark is what he can do and what kind of governance structure, but also what kind of money he can allocate there. So Mark, the good thing about this new portfolio is that you will allocate now 5% of that money and you can buy today stocks from Stripe. And I know you love Stripe and everyone, because Stripe bought Lemon Squeeze, which you recommended both in your courses of CodeFast and ShipFast. But also imagine that you can own a company that will do an IPO. So you can buy pre-IPO stocks. There are many platforms around the world from employees that they just want cash flow, and you have cash flow, Mark. So just go and buy. Just put 5% of your portfolio in buying stocks on Stripe, because I know you just love Stripe. And second, I will recommend you to put 5% of your portfolio in crypto. Even though, think about this, you don't believe in crypto, the upside is tremendous. And even though that 5% goes to zero, you still have 95% well invested. So technically, this is free money for you. And I will recommend a balanced portfolio of Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. If you want to know more, I did another video building different types of portfolio strategies based on what kind of cryptocurrency, what is your risk level. But for Mark's risk level, I will recommend 5% allocation, just divide it into these three. That's it. Don't overcomplicate. You don't need to buy Farcoin and other things. If you have higher risk level, check the video that I did. So I'm gonna make the summary. Mark's current portfolio has 100% of his money in a non-insured fintech. Okay? And his current yield is 3.9%. The new portfolio recommended by this roast, if you want to get roasted, let me know. You have keep the money in Wise, you add Revolut, you put most of your money in a boring bank, you put 30% on bonds, you put 5% on crypto, and 5% on pre-IPO stocks. And if you like this video, please like it, comment. Let me know what other companies or persons do we want me to do roast. I'm publishing videos every single day. So if you want to learn about investment, do it. And guys, if you want a brutally honest, like this one, this is honest review for your investment portfolio, just go to franciscomoney.com or click in the description below and just book it up. And in 72 hours, I will do a personalized video with all the elements, the good, the bad, the ugly, but most important, what actions you can take today. Thank you for today's roast.